She must apologize immediately, not only to all Texans, but to our country, to the American shareholders of Tesla.
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett, when are you going to apologize to the shareholders of Tesla? That's what Attorney General Pam Bondi is demanding from the Congresswoman from Texas. She wants the apology following a statement that Congresswoman Crockett had made in a live stream in order to retaliate against Elon Musk for what he and Doge are doing in regard to gutting government institutions. Let's actually hear what she had to say in that live stream that got all this negative attention from Republicans and Bondi.
Pam Bondi is demanding that Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett apologize, not to Texans, not to Congress, but to Tesla shareholders. Yes, the investors. Because in Bondi's world, corporate millionaires are delicate flowers who must be shielded from mean words. Crockett's offense. During a live stream, she joked that her birthday wish was to see Elon Musk taken down, financially, not physically, meaning held accountable for his business decisions. She even stated outright she opposes violence. But Bondi and her crew stripped that context, spun it into outrage theater, and rebranded it as an attack on America itself. In other words, criticizing a billionaire is now a patriotic crime.
March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes. Listen, I have learned as I serve on the Doge Oversight Committee that there is only one language that the people that are in charge understand right now. And that language is money.
So obviously she's referring to the protests, not the violent ones, not the firebombing. She didn't advocate for any of that. But she's talking about the money, meaning, you know, if the value of the shares for Tesla goes down, well, that's, you know, the movement being effective in fighting back against Elon Musk. She did not advocate for violence. I want to be clear about that. Although some on the right are trying to make it seem as though she was advocating for violence. That is not the case at all. She's talking about hitting the company where it hurts, and that means the value of its shares.
Yeah, we have a different theory, which we'll get to in a second. But later on in that same exact statement, she said, obviously we don't mean violence, we mean what Anna just explained.
Correct.
So it wasn't like she clarified later, and it wasn't just that it was obvious. She literally said, do not do violence.
In the same live stream, yes.
Yes. And so just about 20 seconds after what we just showed you. Okay, so then Pam Bondi originally came out and said, oh yeah, she better watch herself, and, threatening her as like they might arrest her. Remember, Pam Bondi, believe it or not, is the Attorney General of the United States. And so now that she has to acknowledge and she was asked about it, and she's like, okay, fine, she didn't ask for violence, okay? But she's hurting the Tesla shareholders, and that's violence towards corporate profits, the most treacherous thing in the world. This from an administration that claimed to be populist.
So look.
Hilarious.
There are all sorts of arguments made in order to provide cover for Tesla. Oh, but what about all of the pension funds and retirement accounts that are invested in Tesla? Those are the little guys. Okay, let's stop pretending like, Elon Musk defenders are worried about the little guys as Elon Musk and Doge literally fire Social Security Administration workers, close Social Security Administration field offices, and dismantle Social Security without even having to pass any legislation in Congress to do it. They don't care about the little guy at all. But the thing that I will say here is, if you're worried about the shareholders, don't you think Elon Musk should maybe apologize to them? Because a lot has been made about how these protests have been the, causal link to the share prices going down. But apparently, and based on some of the research I've been doing into Tesla even prior to Doge, a lot of these big name investors had been pulling out of Tesla to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. And more of those, huge Tesla fans, big name investors, I'm talking about corporate CEOs, are now going on national television and they're admitting that there's a real problem with the lack of leadership in that company, okay, the bad decisions that are being made, the products that are being rolled out that aren't even completely finished yet. So I'm going to give you that evidence in just a moment. But Jen, go ahead.
Here's the reality. Tesla's tailspin has nothing to do with Jasmine Crockett. The company's value has nosedived from $1.7 trillion to under $800 billion, wiping out almost $1 trillion. Board members, top executives, and even Musk's own brother are cashing out tens of millions in stock. The revolutionary Cybertruck. Delays, recalls, and headaches. Financial filings show rising debt, shrinking assets, and spooked investors. This isn't political backlash. It's what happens when a company is run like a vanity project instead of a business.
There's some serious issues over at Tesla. And again, that's not just based on what I'm saying. I'm going to show you the receipts starting with the smaller issues, and then we're going to work our way up to the bigger issues. So first off, Financial Times, which is one of my favorite publications. I think they do a real good job with like straight news reporting and also reporting on stories that no one else is reporting on. Well, they had written about how Tesla spent $6.3 billion in capital expenditures. And that was in the last half of last year. So the last 6 months of 2024, they spent $6.3 billion in capital expenditures. But the gross value of the company's assets increased by only $4.9 billion. And so what explains the $1.4 billion discrepancy? And more importantly, why did they take out debt to engage in these capital expenditures when they're sitting on a ton of money? A closer look at Tesla's cash flow statement may also prompt investors to ask other questions, such as why a business with a $37 billion cash pile raised $6 billion of new debt last year. A combination of excess cash flow and ongoing capital raising is another red flag that can signal accounting misstatements. So that obviously needs to be investigated further. And as of March 19th, Tesla's stock market valuation crashed from 1.7 trillion to below 800 billion. Now, some of Musk's own friends and family members have actually been dumping Tesla stock. Should they apologize to the remaining shareholders?
The Tesla shareholders have been aggrieved.
We need to.
This is the most important thing for our government. Forget the American people. Who cares? Tesla shareholders.
Yeah.
This is what populism's been all about. Shareholders, corporations, stock market.
Musk, once celebrated as a tech messiah, is now stretched thin across pet projects, political feuds, and side hustles while his core business sputters. This isn't a dip. It's a red alert warning for a company propped up by hype and taxpayer cash. And let's not forget, US taxpayers have poured about $38 billion into Tesla subsidies. If anyone deserves protection, it's the public that bankrolled the company, not a billionaire who treats criticism like sabotage.
So James Murdoch, a Tesla board member and friend of Elon Musk, sold $13.3 million worth of Tesla shares, which drove the company to its worst single-day decline since September of 2020. This happened in early March. Okay,
13.2.
Yeah. So, and by the way, his sale comes after another, non-executive director made similar moves, including Tesla chair Robin Denholm, who sold $75 million worth of Tesla stock, as reported by ABC News on March 18th. Then you have Elon Musk's own brother, Kimball, who sold $27 million worth of shares. Why? I mean, if the fundamentals are there, if Tesla's such a great company, if you believe in the future of Tesla, which isn't just a car company, it's also a robotics company, an AR company, that's what we're all being told, right? If you believe in the future, why would you, sell tens of millions of dollars worth of Tesla stock? I'm sure it has nothing to do with protests at Tesla dealerships.
Or, by the way, I mean, we don't know, and I don't know where that 1.4 billion is, and it might be a normal irregularity. They're going to have to figure that out. It's a public company, etc. But why are all these insiders selling their stock?
A lot of it too, yeah.
Do they know something we don't know? Look, I don't know. It might be that they're just looking at it going, Elon hasn't showed up to work in a long, long time. And so maybe they're worried about that. Maybe they're worried about other things, but they're definitely worried because they're dumping the stock like nobody's business.
And that takes us to Gerber Kawasaki CEO Ross Gerber, who desperately wants Tesla to find another CEO. He believes in the product. He obviously owns shares of Tesla stock, but he's worried about the leadership vacuum right now and the poor decisions, and he said so on national television. Take a look.
It was 5 years ago to the day that the great Tesla run began, which lasted about 18 months and peaked in November 01 when he started selling Tesla stock to buy Twitter. So it started with the purchase of Twitter, and it's just gone worse and worse and worse to now literally, working at the government, working with Donald Trump and having Trump and Ludnick pitching Tesla stock and cars. I mean, that's how bad it is. How about just running traditional ads and separating yourself from the brand? He has CEOs who run his other companies. I don't understand why he won't let Tesla have a dedicated CEO. For me, it's not about politics. It's about selling EVs. We are selling less EVs. We have the best products on the market, and we're selling less of them while the market's growing fast. Why is everybody still in denial on why this is happening and what the solutions are to solving it?
So there you have it. He's talking about how, even before these protests, already the stock value is going down. There was a bump after Trump got elected because obviously Elon Musk is going to have some sway over the Trump administration that could potentially help his business.
Bondi's outrage is nothing new. Defend the billionaire, ignore the decline, and punish the critic. Tesla shareholders don't need Crockett's apology. They need answers from Elon Musk. And maybe from the politicians who keep guarding his fortune while working Americans are told to be thankful for crumbs.